they want? What do they want? One person looks friendly. He's friendly looking, and he's looking at me, and he's smiling. I think of
What is reality? Reality is what we believe to be true about the nature of our surroundings. But how do we come to decide that true nature? Do we conceive it completely on our own? Or do other devices gently sway our thoughts onto a pre-decided path? This is the hard question we must all ask ourselves as free humans on this planet. Who sculpts your reality?
Reality. Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Wednesday night. It's time for another mind-bending, soul-twisting, spirit-wrenching episode of Reality Brief.
Oh, man.
You're watching Reality Brief.
Hey, Jesus. I'm Don.
I'm Dan.
Welcome.
And it's that time again.
So, we'll be getting on with Joe Lakey a little bit later, talking about some alternate timelines and carnations and stuff that I'm guessing he's having memories of.
5-dimensional time type stuff. My favorite kind.
How y'all doing tonight? We're doing all right over here in the super secret undisclosed location in Foggy Hampton, Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Live from the mean streets of Phoebus. Oh, yeah. Down and dirty.
So before we get to Joel, we got a couple little things we want to rap with y'all about. Now, how we do.
It's our special time together. Where we can
use the microphone.
Oh, yeah. That would help. Where we can huddle around the interwebs and, talk about interesting things that pique our interest. Things that we can share with you.
So what's up first on the agenda tonight, Dan? What are we talking about, man?
Well, the U.S. military is buying a brutal-looking powered exoskeleton.
Brutal-looking powered exoskeleton.
Yep. They give its wearers.
So is this like a new? Is this a new one?
I guess. I mean, they say it looks like a cross between the Iron Man suit and Ripley's power loader from Aliens. This is coming from Futurism.com.
Let's take a look at that there.
They say it won't kill the alien queen yet, but it does give its wearer super strength. American robot developer Sarcos Robotics announced today that it's been awarded a contract by United States Special Operations Command to deliver a pre-production full-body robotic exoskeleton called the Guardian XO, and it looks absolutely brutal. I don't know, it looks kind of almost...
So let's make this one different.
Like a happy face.
Oh, there's a video down there.
Yeah, they even got a little video for it from Sarcos Robotics. The deal is the latest
Go ahead,
sign
play it,
that the
Just
Pentagon
mute it.
sees promise in Sarcos' tech. Earlier this month, the company announced a partnership with the U.S. Navy to evaluate the feasibility of using its full-body exoskeletons to optimize shipyard operations. A separate contract with the U.S. Air Force was signed in August 2018 for logistics applications, so that's going to be something that we're going to see,
Now, is this the same thing they were talking about using at the Olympics in Japan? Man, I was reading something earlier this week. I thought we talked about it on the show, but I think I was just reading about it earlier this week. So they're talking about all these different robotic advances that they're going to have at the Olympics in Japan, and one of them is these suits that they'll be able to load cargo and stuff with.
Where is my super suit?
And then, that's what it was. They're going to have these special robots, right? Wishman, maybe you can find this. They're going to have these special robots that are going to be like waiting on and stuff like that, like handicapped people in the handicap section of the Olympics.
That's far out.
There's something like, I wanted to say it was like 300 of them. Yeah, do it with the eyeball closed, though. Yeah.
So, there you go. So the partnership could greatly enhance the productivity of a single officer in the field and decrease fatigue or strain, but they didn't reveal the exact intended use for the exoskeleton, but this would let the wearer lift like 200 pounds like it's nothing. It's the latest sign that exoskeletons are finally hitting the mainstream. Auto manufacturers are already considering the use of simpler exoskeletons on factory floors, and the Food and Drug Administration approved a lower body exoskeleton last year for use with people by lower limb disabilities. A February press release described Sarcos' exoskeleton as giving its wearers the strength of a forklift, but a gentler touch. The exo could be used anywhere from factories to mines to construction sites to indefinite detainment camps for American citizens, or possibly Guantanamo Bay or Abu Ghraib. In a place like that, they'd be super useful. The Guardian Exo is powered by an onboard battery and can be operated for up to 8 hours. Its rechargeable battery packs are hot swappable for even more power in the field, now with more molecules. Many exoskeletons of its kind had to be powered through either a tether hooked up to a power source. Sarcos claims that it's what's held them back from commercialization in a press release is battery tech. They say that its battery tech has come a long way.
So that's what's different.
Yeah.
Because they did have tethers, and they were talking about the batteries being so damn heavy. So, what is the battery technology they're using? Did it say?
It doesn't really. They say that the first prototype 10 years ago was hydraulically powered and drew 6,000 watts. Now it's less than 400 watts of power for the whole suit.
Man, there was this battery that some Israeli company was making, where I want to say it was like aluminum or something, but it would eat the aluminum. It was like super awesome. But you couldn't recharge it. I remember hearing about
some guys that were building a battery that basically looked like a Capri Sun pouch, and it was filled with graphene, and it held like disgusting amounts of power. But the problem they were having was like trying to regulate it. Well, but we don't have that article handy right now.
No. But what we do have is another UFO sighting. This one's pretty interesting.
Nice.
Air controller wowed. Oh, let me see. I got it over here.
Yeah, there you go.
Too many putas. Don't know what to do. Air controller wowed by pilot's ability to see mystery object over Las Vegas with night vision updated. Oh shit, it's updated. Around 9 p.m. local time on Saturday, March 16th. So this happened, when was the last show? 3 days after our last show. An air ambulance helicopter was flying roughly 15 miles west of central Las Vegas when something odd caught its eye. During an exchange with an air traffic controller, the pilot of Mercy Air 21 and Augusta 119 Koala helicopter noted spotting an unidentified object some distance from his position, and only he was likely able to see it in the darkness as he was wearing night vision goggles. The controller responded that he had nothing on radar in the area where he was seeing the object, but when he heard the pilot could only see it through NVGs, he responded with amazement. So, our good friend at Aircraft Spots mentioned the odd exchange on Twitter and posted the audio to SoundCloud, which you can listen to in full below. Apparently, he was tipped off to by Twitter user Aviation Aficionado. So, a bunch of letters. Let's hear what the tape is.
A guy who likes those things.
Tier 21, radar contact 15 to the west of Las Vegas. VOR, clear through Bravo airspace.
Hey, 21, position checks. And just to advise, it looks like I have some sort of object over the Southern Hills area. Looks to be about 7,000 feet. Could be a balloon or something along those lines. It's unlit, so just advise.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything in that area, but that's not to say, like you're saying, there's something out there.
Yeah, I can only see it. I got night vision goggles on. I can only see it through the goggles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Could be a balloon. I mean, let's listen to that one more time. I'm sorry, man. Let's do that one more time.
Like this?
No, I got it. It's me.
All right.
Oh, it is you.
I mean,
it is you. My bad. Yeah, go ahead.
It could be a lot of things, you know what I mean?
Tier 21, radar contact 15 to the west of Las Vegas. VOR, clear through Bravo airspace.
Hey, 21, position checks. And just to advise, it looks like I have some sort of object over the Southern Hills area. Looks to be about 7,000 feet. Could be a balloon or something along those lines. It's unlit, so just advise.
7,000 feet in the
I'm
air.
not seeing anything in that area, but
I guess
not
nothing.
To say, like you're saying, there's
could be a balloon, a weather balloon, maybe.
Yeah, I can only see it.
No, weather balloons would be higher, wouldn't they?
Yeah, unless it was going up or coming down.
7,000 feet's like what?
What do commercial airliners fly?
10,000 feet? Like 20,000 feet?
Alright, where are we at? You can hear the pilot alert controller spotting something over the Southern Hills area. This is not a topographical landmark, it's a hospital in the southwest corner of the Las Vegas metropolitan area. He notes that the object appears to be around 7,000 feet and it could be a balloon or something along those lines that is unlit. The controller responds saying he doesn't see it, but that doesn't mean there isn't something out there. The pilot then informs him that the night vision goggles on, that only he can see it through the goggles. The controller seems pretty amazed with the pilot's capabilities, responding on, ooh, that's awesome. What's up?
Quick interjection. Most airliners are limited to 45,000 feet or less.
Alright, so around, and it was at 7,000 feet. So it was higher than airliners.
No, it was lower, 45,000.
Oh, 45,000?
Yeah.
Whew, yeah, that's... So, I guess, what about a weather balloon wouldn't show up on radar? Is it a stealth weather balloon? Are we talking like arms race? It's a stealth weather balloon. Dan?
I got nothing. I've never heard of a stealth weather balloon. That's some new shit to me. Maybe it's a spy balloon.
I mean, but what about a weather balloon would make it not show up on radar?
Maybe it's a router being hung from a stealth balloon so that Russian hackers can ping their signal off it.
We did find an air ambulance helicopter that briefly appeared over the western Las Vegas metropolitan area around the right time of the radio call. According to @aircraft spots, the aircraft N608CF doesn't historically use the Mercy Air 21 call sign. Still, it is the same type as the one that does, and appears to be owned by the same company, Air Methods. So it's possible that this was the helicopter communicating with air traffic control. Although its position is closer to the center of Las Vegas than it should be, at least based on the position and call given by air traffic controller in the recorded audio. Really, all that doesn't matter much. What we are left in here is an interesting piece of air traffic control audio, more than unexplained sighting of pressing or extremely extraordinary nature. As the pilot notes, it could have been some sort of balloon, but it does not seem a bit odd spotting an unlit balloon at night with night vision goggles from miles away. The altitude is also interesting. 7,000 feet isn't exactly low, Dan. But without more information and or additional witnesses, we don't have much to warrant further investigation. Well, there's not really much else to investigate, is there?
Not really.
I mean, what could you do to possibly further investigate this? Interview the guy who was flying, maybe? Any other pilots in the area? Anybody on the ground may have seen something? Probably not, since you can only see it with night vision goggles. So, I am going to go buy a set of night vision goggles.
You definitely should.
And I'm going to sit right out there. And I'm going to look right up there. And when I see them motherfuckers, I'm going to give them the finger. Tell them, go to fuck home. Alright, what's next?
Well, if there are, extraterrestrials coming to this planet, one must ask, are we being kept in a galactic zoo?
Are we being kept in a galactic zoo? I mean, it would seem that way.
We've seen this on, the Orville, we've seen Rick and Morty. How many various sci-fi establishments have had this trope where people are taken away and kept in some sort of galactic zoo and, basically treated like something in a tank for people's amusement.
Yeah, in the chat, I do remember something like that, but I don't see it happening, man. Do you see it happening? It says from the chat we got...
Would you see it?
You guys remember during Trump's inauguration... You guys remember during Trump's inauguration, he said, "We're going to be bringing an end to all human disease and unlocking the mysteries of the universe." Yeah, I think I remember something along those lines, but, I mean... Dan? You want to weigh in on that, buddy?
Nope. So, getting, what's it? Are we alone? Probably not. After all, astronomers have already found 4,001 confirmed exoplanets in our Milky Way galaxy, and expect there to be probably about 50 billion exoplanets out there. What?
Speaking of exoplanets, what's the current count of exoplanets today?
That's it, right there. 4,001.
Right there, huh?
Yep.
That's the most current. Because didn't you have one in the
two birds
in the
with one stone, dog.
Whew, you were getting good at this shit, man.
So, for scientists gathering in Paris today, the question is different. Why haven't we made contact with alien civilizations? Fermi paradox and the Great Silence. So, Italian physicist Enrico Fermi asked, where is everybody? Back in 1950, and what's now called the Fermi paradox. It addresses a contradiction in astronomy and can be summarized thus. If extraterrestrial life and even intelligent alien civilizations are not just likely, but highly probable, then why haven't they been in contact with us? Are there biological or sociological explanations for this great silence? Which, okay, first of all, to expect somebody else to be communicating with archaic shit like radio.
Let's break this down. Okay.
No.
There's some neighborhoods that you would go to, right? That you would, probably keep your windows up. Right?
Yeah. When you're on the interstate, do you stop at every Stuckey's on the way?
That's true, too.
And that's what Earth is.
That's
Earth is a galactic
too, man.
Stuckey's, okay? Like,
well, and another thing is, if they're slaving us out, they don't want us to know.
Seriously.
So they ain't showing up and being like, hey, look at us. No, they're slaving us out in the shadows. It's working great for them so far.
Uh-huh. I mean, do you stop at Sheetz and encourage people to rise up against their management?
I'm gonna say right now, if you live on I don't know if this is just an East Coast thing or maybe just Virginia, but there's this place called Sheetz. Don't stop and eat there, because it'll get you the sheets.
You get the sheets every time.
You get the sheets.
So, we're very interested in the scientific approach using the analysis of the Fermi paradox and the search for intelligent life in the universe, said Cyril Birnbaum and Brigitte David at the Cité des Sciences et de l'Industrie. It's French for science industry place thing.
Said smart mans.
The Science Museum in Paris that's hosting the meeting today. The question, are we alone, affects us all, because it's directly related to humanity and our place in the cosmos. So,
Dan, are we alone?
That's what these Frenchies are getting together and asking, is, are extraterrestrials staying silent out of concern for how contact would impact humanity? Do we live in a galactic zoo? Should we send intentional radio messages to nearby stars to signal humanity's interest in joining the galactic club? Fresh meat right here. We're still communing with radio waves. Come harvest our resources and assimilate our cultures and technologies.
They would just laugh and be like, cute.
Listen to these chunkle fucks over here.
The slaves think they're reaching out.
Will extraterrestrial intelligence be similar to human intelligence? Did life get to Earth from elsewhere in the galaxy? Interstellar migration? Mm-hmm. All very good questions.
Very good questions.
The puzzle of why we haven't detected extraterrestrial life has been discussed often, like every episode. But in this workshop's unique focus, many of the talks tackled a controversial explanation, first suggested in the 70s, called the zoo hypothesis. Yes, the idea that we're being watched by aliens and perhaps even being protected by them. The same way a farmer protects his flock of sheep. Mm-hmm. In this case, the farmers are the Dracos.
Protected. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, well, who?
I'm saying, if human adrenochrome is the most valuable drug in the galaxy, then damn right you're going to guard your stash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How many planets do you think have humans on that are actually just farms?
Probably a shitload.
You think this is like a common form, like the human DNA
that's we've heard as much.
Serf slaves throughout the galaxy,
we've heard as much that there are hominids from all over the place. Procyon, the Pleiades.
No, I don't mean like just hominids.
I mean people like us.
I mean exactly human. Maybe with very minor differences from living on another planet.
Yeah.
Like minor evolutionary. I'm talking about like exactly human, not like a gray or a whatever.
Yeah.
But each planet is another farm just like Earth.
I mean, that's totally possible.
Hmm.
So, yeah. This is a mind-warping idea. Not really, but, I mean, I guess we're kind of used to it. Yeah. But that there are alien civilizations out there, no, not on Oumuamua. that know all about us, but purposefully hide it from us. It certainly explains this great silence. Perhaps extraterrestrials are watching humans on Earth, much like we watch animals in a zoo, explains Douglas Vakach, president of MITI, which is the more extroverted version of SETI. How can we get the galactic zookeepers to reveal themselves? At a workshop, Vakach proposed that I'm sure I'm butchering that, by the way, are sure that humans should be more active in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. If we went to a zoo and suddenly a zebra turned up towards us, looked us in the eye, and started pounding out a series of prime numbers with his hoof, that would establish a radically different relationship between us and the zebra, and we would feel compelled to respond, he said. Probably by force. But it's hard to disagree with that. We can do the same with extraterrestrials by transmitting powerful, intentional, information-rich radio signals to nearby stars. So, you know what? That's an artist impression.
I'm sick of the goddamn space poop, man. Well, just look at it.
Look, it was here and it's gone to stay, okay? And it's not coming back.
You don't know that.
You're right.
They might turn around. If it's an intelligently powered and directed craft, it might just decide to come back and get some more slaves.
I mean,
am I right?
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, that would give us
fucking flying piece of shit or not
material for like 2 years worth of shows right there.
At this rate.
So, do you think the zoo hypothesis theory is insane? There's nothing compared to another theory about alien benevolence. It seems likely that extraterrestrials are imposing a galactic quarantine because they realize it would be culturally disruptive for us to learn about them, said Jean-Pierre Rospars, the honorary research director at the Institut National de la Recherche Agronomique and co-chair of the workshop. Cognitive evolution on Earth shows random features, while also following predictable paths. We can expect the repeated, independent emergence of intelligent species in the universe, and we should expect to see more or less similar forms of intelligence everywhere under favorable conditions, he added. There's no reason to think that humans have reached the highest cognitive level possible. God for fucking bid! And higher levels might evolve on Earth in the future and already be reached elsewhere. So then we start digging into the Drake equation. What is all that? Radio astronomy versus interstellar colonization. Well, for now, radio astronomy is the only practical way of humans sending messages out into the cosmos. That's bullshit. They could be using laser light. Says one scientist, only full-blown colonization of other stars is the only way to prove the existence of intelligent life. It appears that radio communications provide a natural means for searching for extraterrestrial intelligence for civilizations younger than a few millennia. Older civilizations should rather develop extensive programs of interstellar colonizations, said Nicholas Prantzos, director of research at the CNRS, in advance of Monday's meeting. The only way to achieve undisputable evidence, either for or against the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence within their lifetime. So, look, I heard Tau Buddhist has oil.
Right. Is that what you heard?
Yep.
So we'll be there instantly. All right, that's enough of this. We got precious little time, so you got one that you wanted to talk about, wasn't it? No, that's right. We got sex cult update.
Yep. Good old Smallville back in the news. Oh,
yeah. Allison Mack in plea negotiations over sex cult charges. Smallville stars Allison Mack is now in plea negotiations with the government over her role in upstate sex slave cult NXIVM. Prosecutors revealed Monday. 3 high-ranking members of the group, Mack, Lauren Salzman, and accountant Kathy Russell, are all actively engaged in discussions, a prosecutor said in Brooklyn federal court.
Back in my day, NXIVM was something you took for eating like a giant baby with money.
The revelation comes less than a week after NXIVM leader Keith Raniere was hit with child porn charges.
Classy.
And his co-founder, Lauren's mother, Nancy Salzman, pleaded guilty to racketeering conspiracy. If 3 women take pleas, that will leave just Raniere and NXIVM's benefactor, Seagram liquor heir Claire Bronfman. Is that how you say that?
So every time you buy a bottle of ginger ale, it goes to support a sex cult?
Oh my god, dude.
And not a cool one.
You know how much ginger ale I'm drinking? To stand trial with Mack and others potentially acting as turncoat witnesses against him. So they're trying to roll. They're trying to roll states. They're trying to roll states. Burn them all, man. Burn them all. I think at the end of the day, it'll just Claire and Keith going to trial. Bronfman's attorney, Mark Gregera, said while discussing possible trial dates. Raniere is accused of heading... Wait a minute. Raniere is accused of heading a secret master slave group within Nixium called DOS.
Back in my day, DOS was an operating system, goddammit.
In which women were branded with his initials and forced to have sex with him, while Mac allegedly served as his right-hand woman.
I believe the politically correct term is bottom bitch.
All the remaining defendants were in court Monday to be arraigned on a superseding indictment, which included the child porn allegations against Raniere, as well as various additional charges against the others, including sex trafficking, identity fraud, and money laundering. All pleaded not guilty. You don't say. During discussion of the allegations that Raniere had sexual relationships with children and produced kiddie porn, Mac's lawyer gave the 36-year-old a shoulder rub.
What the fuck?
Despite the plea discussions, Judge Nicholas Garafis said he would proceed as if all defendants were headed to trial, as you should, and their own attorneys also said they're still planning for the trial beginning April 29th. The parties are next due back in court April 4th. So there you have it. A little bit of sex cult update for you guys.
In case you were wondering.
Man, you know, dude, they better go to fuck down, man.
Yeah, I'm...
If these people don't, like, do some time, like, if they get convicted and they get fucking wrist slaps and shit, why bother? Seriously. At that point, it's completely failed us. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's almost time. I mean, I'm not calling for it. Don't put me in court. But that's almost pitchfork time, man. You know what I mean? I mean, we finally get these fuckers busted, at least some of them, and then what's going to happen? They're going to get the fucking walk?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that they weren't, a black man selling single cigarettes on a street corner, because that could have actually been serious consequences for that.
Maybe it would have been good if they were. I mean, I'm just saying, It's fucked up, dude.
Or, or a kid on an iPhone, or, God forbid, a dog barking in defense of its house.
Or a dog, defending its house that the police are busting in the wrong one on. So, well, what we're going to do now is we're going to jump to quick break, because I think I hear it. Do you hear it?
Oh, we also got...
it's getting louder. Is it getting louder? What is that?
We're going to post some other fun stuff about warp bubbles and exoplanets and giant asteroids and maybe even a classic formula for pi hidden in hydrogen atoms.
When we get back from the break, we'll be live with Joel, and we'll be having that discussion that we promised you earlier.
It's coming up.
We'll see you after that.
Strap yourselves in and shoot up your zero-G juice, because it's time to go.
Row barf.
Hey guys, it's the real Space Jesus here. None of that blue chicken bullshit. You're watching Reality Brief.
I'm not in a fucking cult. 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 I'm not in a fucking cult.
Hi there, it's Justin. Is there a band that you love and you wish you could turn everybody else in the world on to? That's us every week over at Deprogram. Get together, we talk about a band, we give you a top 10 starter kit for you and anybody else who wants to listen to that band. It's pretty simple, it's a great time, and it's a great way for you to discover new artists. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you can download your fine podcasts. That's Deprogram, running in love with people.
After the break, how to survive an encounter with a telepathic spider.
And is your neighbor involved in black operative mind crime? Ways to find out.
Find out on Reality Brief. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? Can you hear me now?
I disagree.
Well, that's why you're wrong.
So wait, we just accidentally streamed that?
Mm-hmm.
So the entire world saw that?
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me now? Hello?
What? Transporter room. I need you to need a site-to-site transport directly onto the toilet. We've only got 10 minutes for this break.
Man, I told you to speak into the microphone.
Blue chickens. Look, they're gonna be moving into your neighborhood. They're gonna be passing your laws. They're gonna be teaching your kids. You know.
God, I'm so fucking hungry, man. I haven't eaten dinner yet. My ass. Okay. Hello? I don't know if it's working, Dan.
It probably isn't.
Shit, man. Shit.
Why don't you just get the goddamn Google machine to fix it, huh?
Fuck. Hello? Whoa. What do you mean it's on fire? What? Get a text. Is it them?
Shit!
Go.
Hey, buddy. Want to buy some memes? This one's banned in the EU. Only $10 for the dank ones.
Oh hi, Space Jesus again. If you're looking for a little redemption, hop on over to patreon.com/realitybrief or redbubble.com/people/realitybrief and think about giving a little something to that cause. Why donate to the pot and church when you can donate to some pot instead?
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Did you miss us? I know we were gone for a while.
We can feel your quantum vibrations trembling with anticipation at the return of Reality Brief.
So what'd you think of that as a new format thing there? We talk a little bit, talk a little bullshit for a little bit, and then we bring in the guests like this. Hey, Joel, how's it going?
Good evening, sir.
That's so cool. I'm doing okay.
So Joel, this is going to be your third appearance on the show now, huh?
Yeah, we're getting up there.
Third time Reality Brief veteran. So we're going to talk a little bit about you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about multiverse and parallel dimensions and stuff. I think what we'll do first is just give you a little basis, like what exactly is the multiverse? What does that entail? Like
the entire set of all possible universes?
How does parallel universes work? I mean,
and with all parallel universes, all possible timelines, doesn't that give rise to a sort of omniverse?
So how the multiverse exists is every past, present, future all run simultaneously together at once. So how it works, from my perception of understanding, is every incarnation has a parallel reality that exists next to the main timeline that you exist on, that has millions of different versions and copies of yourself. Your soul is like an iCloud, and all your incarnations throughout the parallel realities are like the iPhones connected to your iCloud of your own information, of your own soul. And it's the multiverse is what you travel through in a dream state. What humans call dreams is actually you yourself visiting your other selves, or you looking through your eyes of your other alternates in other realities.
Which, given some of my dreams lately, is actually kind of horrifying.
The 7-Eleven dream?
No.
So, in other words, like, every decision you make can branch off into another parallel dimension. Like, who do I wear?
Every single one. There's millions and millions of versions of you, different copies and everything. There's versions of myself shredded with a six-pack driving Ferraris. There's versions of myself being a bum poor in some prison somewhere.
So it's like this giant fractal tree-like pattern of possibilities.
All possibilities of every incarnation that you exist in.
Yeah, if time is the fourth dimension, then possibility or probability would be the fifth dimension.
Yeah, everything is everything has every dimension has different existence of like understanding.
So in other words, too, everything is and was at the same time already. So like time is a giant already happened. In other words, it's not linear.
No, you can jump through past, present, and future all at once with proper meditation and guidance.
Because there is any outcome possible. So like if you were to time travel, you wouldn't necessarily end up on your own timeline. Correct?
No, you can end up at anything. It's the hardest thing I have is like every experience I have is so random. It's never the same. So it's like I never go back to the same place twice.
It's pretty interesting. It's like how do you get back to here? Like your exact timeline. I mean,
you'd need a beacon, wouldn't you?
This is I call this the home address timeline. This is like the main incarnation that I came here for liberation of experience from my worlds, and So every time I drift off into another parallel reality, like last night, I opened my eyes in a parallel reality where I was in like the Bahamas in a hotel with a bunch of African American friends that I knew for years that I was with, and we were hanging out at the beach and the pools and partying together, and then watching World Junior Hockey on TV. And I was just like, "Oh, this is so weird. Like, this is like was over a while ago in my other dimension." So like both my memories exist in this one timeline, right? So it was kind of hard when I woke up back in this reality this morning. I was just like, "Well, my memories from that timeline were overlapping my memories in this timeline, so I think they're being all like jumbled."
So when we spoke last, you were saying when you went to sleep, they were putting you in a super soldier body, correct?
Yeah.
So do you now believe that was a different timeline?
Yeah. So every night, it's either a few different things. It's either the super soldier experience in the secret space programs, or it's me being just traveling the multiverse, just as myself visiting my other alternates that exist in.
So how likely do you think it is that your secret space program stuff is happening in a different timeline?
Oh, very, very likely. But every time I talk to you guys or other do radio shows, they like to punish me or sideline me. So I haven't been really doing much off-world work right now. Pretty much I'm stuck in a barracks on there's red planets and by myself and just waiting until the next mission.
So being that it's another timeline, is it like when you're gone, you think that you're still there? Like still like
it's like different. Yeah, it's just like they call it like personality fractures. Like they will leave your dark side in their personality type of you. Like it's you, but it's like different parts of you. If that makes any sense.
Your shadow, your id.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's like I'm still running that body, but it's just like it's not like it's like maybe drone mode. It's not 100% coherent.
Okay, so it's not an entire consciousness. Like we hear stories about the mind fracturing process to create alters to use in the same way, like you're saying. But what you're saying is, when you're away, they're like zombie-like almost. Like it's not a whole person.
From my personal experiences, everyone's is different. Like I know I have hundreds of different alters existing at once, and some of it's like I'll be existing in that alter or avatar or whatever you want to call it, but I'll have no control of it. I'll just be like watching through the eyes like a video game, and I'll try to like do different things, but like my body's already doing something else, so it's like already being run by maybe my other consciousness or my alternate consciousness, and then some of the alters or avatars are actually me in it and experiencing it, the full pain, the full effect of it.
I wonder how possible it would be for them to be pulling you out from other timelines too. Like, so when you're not in there, like right now you're talking to us, so you're not in there. Well, maybe there's another timeline where you're not talking to us, but you're sleeping, so you're in there. you feel
so confused, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
What have you guys watched that show Travelers at all?
Yes, I've tried watching it.
Oh, well, there's a condition that this guy develops in the last season called temporal aphasia. And it's where he's experiencing multiple periods of time and multiple possible futures and outcomes. But he can't tell what's when. Because since he's moved across time so many times, and since the mind of his host has been overwritten so many times, he develops this condition where he can't tell what's happening at what time, like which reality he's in.
Yeah, so how I can tell which is where is a feeling. So like in this dimension right now, I can feel, like if I go outside, I can feel wind and heat on my skin. So other dimensions I exist in, I'm there, but I don't like feel it, if that makes any sense. So I know
there's not the sensory transmission.
Yeah, it's like I don't feel like the senses of the wind or like the heat or the coldness or pain or stuff. Right? I just exist there, if it makes any sense.
And this is like a flesh body you're inhabiting, or is this like a cyborg?
Yeah, because I always check myself out in mirrors or picture or like a mirror image of myself. I always will look, but like my alter is always different. Like I will be like the super soldier looks always the same, but like other realities that exist in, I'll wake up in a girl's body and I'll walk around with a black skirt on, a black top, and she'll have like bangs, and I'll look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, oh wow, I'm in a girl's body, and I'll like touch my face, so I know I'm in that body because I'm moving the hands and the eyes. And some other alternates will be like, I'll be like 30 years older. I'll be just like more aged in the face. I'll be just look like I went through hell and back. Once I was in an Asian body, really old Asian guy's body. I was just like existing in his body, but it wasn't my body. I was just like overtaking it for a few hours,
like a walk-in sort of type deal.
Yeah, I was just like being a.
What did you do inside of the old Asian guy?
You don't want to know. What do you think the first thing you do when you're in another person's body? I'm going to check my body out.
That's how you ran in the bathroom and you got your fat on right.
No. I was in the field with my guys. I was just like, oh, okay.
Well, have you ever ended up in like a female version of yourself?
Yeah, I just told you that.
Oh my god! I'm sorry, dude. I was messing with this and I was having. I apologize for that.
Yeah, he said she had like dark hair and bangs and.
Yeah, she looked like me, but she was like more. She was more Asian looking, but I had the same colored eyes, and I was like a infiltrator unit type. So I was like using the woman's sexuality to get into like, like secrets. Like I was just like being a spy infiltrating a base and stuff like that. Like, because I've been in kid bodies before, like where I had to was in Kuwait a couple months back, where I had to do infiltration of underground sex trafficking places, and I had to be a child avatar to like be a beacon to find out the location of the underground base and stuff like that.
Yeah, we discussed that I think last time, didn't we?
Yeah, that was the most intense experience I've had recently.
Yeah, if you guys out there are interested in that, you can check out his segment on the last 12-hour show we did.
Yep.
Which is definitely worth going back and watching. I mean,
yeah, that was a really good one. We kicked some ass in that one for sure. But after that, after I talked to you guys, they threw me into a barracks and they like projected this in my mind. They're like one of their ways of torture is like, because I ran my mouth, they won't hurt you, but they'll sideline you, if that makes any sense. They'll bench you from the game. Like they'll make you like be more in this experience because they know that this is like a third dimensional slave race reality, and it will bore you to death. Like boredom is torture.
Like, yeah, I'm sure it's tailored to the person, because I'm sure some people wouldn't feel the same way that you do.
I talk to a lot of super soldiers that they don't want to do it, and I love it. I love being taken off planet. I love being thrown in these bodies in this technology and killing pedophiles and fighting aliens. I very much enjoy it, but like that's just my experience, because being here, going to a job 9 to 5 and paying taxes is torture for me.
I mean, it's torture for anybody really, but
so
unless you're really doing what you love.
What this world is very torturous.
Yeah. Okay, so now you talked a little bit about past incarnations, right? So are you doing this all just via going to sleep?
Yeah, as soon as I go to bed, I just open my eyes and I'm in a new place. Experiment. I don't know if I ever told you the story of I had a parallel reality with my parents. Did I ever tell you that one?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, so
parallel reality with your parents?
Yeah, it's a good reality. So I woke up in the northern part of Vancouver, and I was walking around, and I was like, oh, this is kind of a weird area, because where my dimension is like more condos, but this dimension there was more townhouses built. And my parents picked me up in this brand new Cadillac, and it was like a weird version I've never seen before. And then they took me to their brand new house that they had, and in this dimension they live in a trailer park and are drunks and are working dead-end jobs. So it was kind of like a different version of what they were. Mm-hmm. So they picked me up this brand new Cadillac, took me to this house, and they were feeding me chicken and water, and they don't drink. And I was just like, I was laughing with them at the dinner table. They're like, well, why are you laughing? I'm like, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not your Joel in this reality. I'm a different Joel in a different reality. I'm just visiting this avatar to see different experiences. And they're like, they knew about this because this is taught in their world. This is a real thing, and they're like asking me questions about what they're like in this world. I'm like, well, you guys drink a lot. You guys live in a trailer park. You work a 9-to-5 dead-end job because you guys drink a lot. And they started laughing in this dimension, saying, "Oh, we don't ever drink. I never even drank a day in my life." And I was like, "Oh, that's such a weird thing to hear from you." Then my stepmom passed me a book. And she said, "Read this book that I wrote." And I said, "Oh, I never knew that you wanted to be an author." She said, "Well, when you wake up in your dimension, ask me if I ever wanted to be an author." And so I woke up back in this dimension, asked my parents in this dimension, I'm like, "Did you ever want to write?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've always wanted to write since I was a kid." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's..." I started laughing because, like, that's... if you didn't start drinking, you would have become a successful author, and this is what the dimension I existed in that played out that version of you.
Did you read through the book at all?
It was like I read the title of it, but like when I wake up in this body, this brain is so it's so hard to write things down quickly enough before I start losing the memory of it, like the details of it. But yeah, so that was, I visited an alternate reality of their success if they didn't drink in this reality.
It's pretty interesting. Something so small as that, I guess.
That one decision. That's all it was. Yeah.
I mean, that's substance abuse is rarely a small decision, but
no, I'm just saying they never.
She said she never touched it ever.
Yeah, I'm saying
you can have a drink and not abuse substances, man.
Oh yeah, but but you know what I mean. Some people can't you know what I mean. Like some people can drink and not become alcoholics, but some people
some people can't.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know people like that. Like, if they're drinking at all, it's gonna be like the whole 12 pack is gonna be gone.
Oh yeah. Some people just can't control. Some people have addictive personalities. So
yeah.
It was a cool experience to see a different version, a successful version of them, right? Instead of a drinking version of them. Yeah.
I'd love to see the version of me that's actually a successful motion graphics artist.
I want to see the version of me that's going on Gaia talking about blue chickens and Corey Good on Reality Brief talking shit about me.
But who would I be doing the show with, though?
You'd be doing the show with Corey Good.
Corey Good was on your show?
Where I would be on Gaia talking about blue chickens, and Corey Good would be on Reality Brief talking shit about me talking about blue chickens.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of things about Corey Good lately. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of things coming out that, I mean, a lot of us already knew.
It's a cool idea. I hope somebody doesn't copyright
it. I worked with Corey Good's artist to draw my memories, and I was trying to get Corey Good's artist to show Corey my pictures that his artist was drawing to show that I was the real deal. We could compare notes, and he would just keep brushing me off that he didn't even want to talk to me or meet me, or he just didn't give it. It was all about him.
I'm surprised you didn't see the drawings that guy did for you on Cosmic Disclosure or something.
Well,
look what I
got. He used those drawings for Corey's comic book, and I said, "No, you don't have permission to use my memories for his comic book." So
he asked you if he could use them for Corey's comic book, really?
Because they didn't have. Corey doesn't have. Corey's just 1/100th of the picture of that secret space program. He was never a super soldier or anything. He was not even a Dark Fleet. He was just in communications.
It would seem that, not to make this go in a big whole Corey Good thing, but just real quick, it would seem that he is against the whole notion of super soldiers altogether.
He's against the whole motion of anyone else talking about it. Yeah. He wants to know more, but I don't get it. It's not about popularity. It's just about.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. All right, so where were we before we got off on the blue chickens?
The timeline we're on, Paul.
Oh yeah, the timeline we're on, Paul. No, the past incarnations.
Oh, past incarnations. Yeah. That's the other side. Like when I go to bed, that's the other part of it. I'll wake up in past incarnations on other planets, but never this dimension though. I think I might have one past life here, but it was 70,000 years ago, and that was when I was an Egyptian, and the pyramids were just freshly built. They had the stone casing, the gold cap on it. I remember that incarnation here, but all the other past incarnations are either on reptilian planets or cyborg planets or AI planets.
AI planets.
Yeah, there's lots of planets out there where biological beings, when they're born, they take their consciousness out of the body and put it into a cyborg or a robot body. So they prefer that more because it's more longevity and it's easier to fix.
Yeah, that'll be us in about 60 years.
Well, they already have all that technology off planet. They just don't give it to them.
Right. So. Well, it'll be mainstream in about 60 years, I think.
Population 11 billion, all Borg.
So well, how many? Is that a pretty common practice?
Pardon?
Is that a pretty common practice?
Off planet, it's more advanced. Like the planet that I was on, I was astral projecting one of my past lives, and I was looking at myself as a young kid there, and I was born, and I was about like 5 or 6 years old in this alien body, and I was getting ready for my consciousness transfer to my first body, but the bodies that they produce there for you are in stages. So like your first robot body would be like just a basic body, and then you'd have to earn your right to like be your consciousness to transfer into like a more advanced body for military or space exploration. And I was crying because I wanted to be transferred right away to like a soldier body because I didn't want to have to do the whole process work.
So how do you move on from that then? Like like how would you you know what I mean? Like I mean, I think it's a valid question. If you're in a transhumanist type society, like how would you move on to a new incarnation? I mean, you'd be robot forever, wouldn't you?
Well, it's just like it's like if you live forever, you eventually get bored and like you want to move on to the next place. Like you can live for thousands or millions of years. Like how exciting can that be?
I don't know.
Exactly. Like, things get bored. Like, thank God this body that exists in here talking to you is only 100 years. I could never do 1,000 years on this planet.
So I wonder what the exact, for lack of a better phrase, mileage on a hoe is before. I'm sure there was a much better phrase I could use. My apologies. Before, you're just like, I gotta get out of this goddamn robot body.
It's all for me. For experience, everything is an experience. So with my personality type, I get bored very easily. So I will experience something, and I'll be like, I've lived it in my entire consciousness, and I'm like, I'm done. I checked it off as a list, as experience, and I want to move on. And then once this lifetime has my experiences that I came here for, or a mission that I have to do, that it's done, there's no point existing past that. Like here, anyways.
Right.
The universe is so vast and so great out there. Why would you want to just be in one place the rest forever? That's prison to me.
Yeah, totally, man. It seems like, why would you even want to go into a robot body then? Why wouldn't you just do your, 100, 200 years? And
the experience is like 1,000 years or biological. It's just the difference of like not living forever. It's just like strength, not getting sick. It's like not suffering from biological problems.
Right.
Maybe that planet has a system where biological their biological bodies are just so weak that they want to be transferred to something stronger.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. So
you know what I think would be cool? Like if I were inhabiting an AI form, one thing I would want to do is like decentralize myself, like create a cloud of gray goo that's my consciousness and scatter it out across an entire galaxy cluster. So like, you know what I mean? Like, or an entire galactic cluster. So like every star system, you're omnipresent. You're in more than one star system at one time.
Did you just say you wanted to spray a cloud of glue throughout a cloud of
gray goo?
Goo?
Yeah, nanites. A nanite cloud.
That's actually very
consciousness.
That's you. So, for example, like that's what existence is. Like, just because you're incarnated here doesn't mean there's a version of you on another planet right now.
Mm-hmm.
Your consciousness is like a vast consciousness. It's not just centralized on Earth right now. It's you. There are people that I've talked to who have experiences off planet in alien bodies that exist to this timeline. They're just on a planet.
We were speculating earlier and talking earlier about with this being like basically a Draco and other ET farm world for various things. I wonder how many. I'm sorry.
Farm planet. This is a very big farm planet. Yeah, the movie Jupiter Ascending is very accurate of what your planet is.
Mm-hmm. So we were speculating earlier, how many planets, farm planets, do you think there are out there?
Thousands of planets.
Shitloads of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like humans, there's probably easily 1,000 planets that are exact twin to this one that are exactly like this, have religions and all that stuff. Because every farm planet is religion based, because religion is divide and conquer of a slave species.
Yeah, it's all one big adrenochrome farming scheme.
Oh yeah, adrenochrome energy, because the other alien types are dark archons that they like to keep you in a negative state. That's why this planet is a negative planet, so they can draw negative energy and feed off you.
Like the goddamn Ori.
Yeah, and it's like a big drug planet if you think about it, because adrenochrome is a drug, and they get high off it. That's like their cocaine.
Right. So, what do you know anything about these so-called benevolent races of ETs that are supposedly out there?
Supposedly.
Like, so the good ones?
Yeah, the good ones.
Are there any?
Well, I can sit here and say right now the Dracos are good.
Well, yeah, some of the Dracos, but I mean,
because what they're doing, they're just think about you know how we have cows and chicken farms, right? Mm-hmm. They're doing this on a galaxy level, right? So to them, they think they're doing good. Yeah.
But it's not good from my perspective. Just like the chicken, it's not good when I go to McDonald's and get a 4-piece chicken nugget for the chicken.
Funny thing about that is when people go to McDonald's and buy that stuff, or burgers in general, I always laugh in my head, but I'm like, it's funny because there's a reptilian planet where they order different type of humans to eat, like for food in a social event, and I just sit there and like laugh in my head because like if humans only knew.
Right. Well, how many? I mean, that brings me to my point. You know,
how many different cows are present in one burger?
I'm not sure.
What the fuck? Reality brief.
No, I'm saying though, like how, like out of your average hamburger, right? Like when you get ground beef from the factory, like, you know.
Well, it's all the same cow because they clone it all now. Anyway.
Good point.
So that brings up a good question too. Why wouldn't the Draco just clone the meat and clone the adrenochrome?
Oh, it's not just the meat. It's also the fear factor. Like the reptilians, like they like the feeling of like, so women, they will want to be present before they kill the person and scare them with their look, and then they like to rape the woman sexually, and then they kill them with it, and then they suck their adrenochrome out and eat their bodies. So like that's their thing.
They need to be conditioned on Earth before they're any good for their uses. So if they just
it's just like they got to be raised with negativity. Yeah.
If they just grow a bunch of clones in a pen somewhere, like chickens, you know what I mean? They're not going to.
It's also that it'll be diluted. It won't be as pure. It won't be as good.
Right.
It's just like so. So the humans on this planet are raised with the notion that aliens don't exist. Like your religion is all blah blah blah, right? So if you're a alien or if you're a human raised off planet and you know about reptilians your entire life, you're not going to be scared when you see one. You're going to be like, oh, that's just a reptilian.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if a reptilian comes here and he shows himself to a person, that person, negativity and adrenochrome is going to spike even higher because it's like, oh my god, I've been lied to my entire life. What the hell is this? Like,
yeah, that's like what I was saying with like if they grew them in pens, it would reduce the fear factor because they wouldn't be conditioned on Earth.
Yeah.
To exactly like what you were saying. So I had something. I'm dying over here.
Well, would you get more adrenochrome from being like, oh my god, what the heck is that? Or would you get more adrenochrome from knowing that is the oppressor and I must strike it down?
You get more adrenochrome from just the shock factor of, oh my god, like
fear.
I've never seen it forever, never even hearing of it. Plus, they like to do that to more children than adults. They like to eat kids more.
All right, well,
kind of like how the Gould seemed a lot more badass during the first Stargate SG-1 movie than the Stargate movie, the original one, than they were in season 6 of SG-1.
I love those movies. They're so accurate. They do like the serpents are a description of reptilians.
But you know what I mean? Like by how season 6 the Gould had kind of been beaten back a little bit and they weren't so big of a threat. They had bigger shit to worry about, like the Ori.
Yeah, yeah, there was always. I don't know if that's very accurate. I think that's more like a human writing of like what they want to do to the reptilians, like kind of like pre-programming us of like a rebellious stage.
Mm-hmm.
But the reptilians are yeah, the reptilians are definitely still here and are very hard to get rid of. So good luck with that.
Well, back to my question earlier. What I mean is benevolent ETs, as in ones that aren't here to farm us. Like you said, the Draco are good guys, but they're not. Obviously, they're not good to me. Just like I'm not good to chicken.
Oh, you want to know? Like, there was a good thing about Joe Rogan did an interview with who's the guy that does Tesla? Oh, Elon Musk. He asked that same question. He's like, if there was aliens that came by this planet and they knew that we raped and killed each other, or we're getting, he didn't say this, but I'm adding this in. If aliens are hurting us, why would they not intervene to help us? And then Elon Musk said the most smart thing. He's like, do you know that there are these type of chimps in a certain country that they rape and kill each other and hurt each other, and why are humans not doing anything to intervene to help them? Why would they care? That should answer your question.
Yeah, I mean,
like why would they care? Like, why would they come here and like have to, if they go to this one farm planet and try to liberate this one farm planet, then they have to deal with the military might of the Dracos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would they even want to start that? Then the Dracos they're not going to push defense. They're going to go after that entire species that tried to liberate this planet and make sure you are extinct.
That's what governments do,
mm-hmm.
right?
So, in your opinion, any ETs claiming to be benevolent like that, you would say that was bullshit?
Like good ones?
Yeah, like coming to free humanity from the farm planet.
Oh, no. There are good ones, but they're trying to do it in a spiritual way. So like, you can never. What's the point of liberating this planet? Because our souls and consciousness are our true forms. This is just an incarnation. So you're not going to see alien races come here with warships and bomb the reptilians out of here. They're going to come and help us, teach us about spiritual ascension, so we can leave here ourselves spiritually.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so when this body dies, we're in our soul form. We can have the choice to leave here and go somewhere else instead of, being stuck here and not knowing what else is out there, because religion gets rid of all of that ideology.
Well, yeah, I'd long thought that, if there is an afterlife, the best thing about it would be a well-deserved romp across the entirety of the astral plane.
Yeah, it's an awakening, right? So just like humans, you already see the awakening happening all over the world. It's going to slowly happen and turn into a domino effect where humans will eventually ban religions. Iceland already marked religion as a weapon of mass destruction and banned all religions in Iceland. It's going to start doing slowly, where people are going to start, after religion is gone, then people are going to start doing spiritual ascension and meditation and understand that, oh wow, I can leave this body. I don't have to be stuck here. I can go elsewhere.
So have you found anything that helps you focus it? Like you said, you kind of just go random places. Have you been working on trying to pinpoint where you're going, or?
When I get back, I'm so drained during the day that I'm literally going through my memories and trying to remember which is which. Like, I had a really crazy experience once a couple years back where I was in another dimension in Whistler, which is a ski village in Vancouver, skiing with my friends and snowboarding with them for a whole weekend. And then I got back into my body, but I thought I woke up because I got back home. And I started messaging my friends, hey, can you send me the pictures of our ski trip that we just got back from? And that was a pretty crazy weekend. All my friends were texting me like, what are you talking about? We never went skiing this weekend. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was from a different dimension, I guess. So it was like, I thought it was this dimension, yeah.
Did you tell them that?
No, they would never believe me. I left that up.
Yeah. Well,
we were talking about this earlier. I think we might have talked about this before too, but I had an idea a while back to create a sigil that would allow me to share information with parallel versions of myself across various timelines, and I never got around to it. But since I had the idea, that means that it had to have happened in at least one timeline, and it had to have worked in at least one timeline. And I think that every once in a while I get chronological bleed over from other timelines where I actually did create that sigil.
That's what's known as lazy time travel.
I like the term probabilistic aphasia.
Probabilistic aphasia. So
there's a cool timeline. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you ever worry about the long-term consequences of jumping in and out of timelines like that?
Yeah. So I've been developing. A lot of people have been noticing. I will mix my words up now. So I will say something is started with a B and the second word is started with a A. I'll put that A where the B is and the B is where, and I'll mix the words up and say in a different slang. It's like I'm like my mind's too jumped all over, and like this I'm more irritable because like this like technology or speech is too slow, because even in other parallel realities that I exist in, we can telepathy talk because we were taught how to do that, because every human being can do it in this timeline. It's just the food and the water, and we're not taught how to do it as children, so we forget how to do it. And so it's just like more stuff like that.
So you think it's something you can refine to not affect you adversely like that, or?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Do you think you can refine it to not have that negative effect on your body like that?
Yeah, as more meditation and more focus. Most of it's like I'll be scatterbrained, where I need to be more focused and hit things where they are accordingly.
Dan?
Do what?
No, it looked like you wanted to ask something.
Oh, no, I was just listening.
Alright, let's see, what time are we at? Quarter after? So, we got any questions? Any questions on the chat? We got any questions out there in the chat for Joel?
Or for us. Granted, you can ask us questions any old time.
Any old time.
It's probably better if they're questions for Joel.
So, now you had mentioned AI. I got stuck on AI, but I think you had said alien worlds too, that you had came up on in the past.
Yeah, like, what do you mean by that question?
We were talking about your past.
Are there any that stand out?
No, when we were talking about your past incarnations, you started listing all types of planets you're at, and when you said AI, I kind of got stuck on that, went right to that, and I think you said another one was just like an alien planet. Was that a reptilian planet?
Most planets in the entire universe are reptilian planets. Reptilians are everywhere. They are the first. They've been around for billions and billions of years, and humans have only been around for a couple million years. So when most incarnations are on reptilian planets, the most common thing I have with all my incarnations is that I never have children, and I never have a significant other. Yeah,
but there's got to be a reality out there somewhere.
Right? Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I guess the further you get away from where you are. So we got. Well, can you give us some beginner tips for jumping into different realities?
The best one is diet. Stay away from fluoride water. Get on distilled water. That's the best one, because it will decrystallize your pineal gland, because your pineal gland is where your soul resides in your incarnation, and once that's decrystallized, you'll start having these crazy experiences, and just let your body naturally unfold it as it should. Your body's designed to help you do this. The other one is you need to meditate and clear all negativity and all thoughts out of your head to have a mental state of mind of no thoughts. It's just a clear white bliss in your head, and then things will start popping up as they should.
So meditation and learning how to focus your chi and that sort of thing is definitely useful.
And diet. Stay away from everything to do with fast foods. Right. Just stay away from the slave food. Don't drink tap water.
Decalcify your pineal gland. Okay, so what is your favorite alternate reality?
Mine is not all. The only alternate reality that in this timeline as a human, I was a rich guy that lived in a Trump tower, and I was the best shape I've ever been in, and I had everything I pretty much wanted. And but the best incarnation I ever experienced in was when I was living on the reptilian homeworlds, and my parents were white royalty, and I was their only son, and I helped liberate the human there were human pockets of like we call them cattle on that planet, and I helped liberate them and save them with a bunch of light ships and transferred them to a different dimension so they couldn't be eaten anymore. That was a cool experience.
That does sound pretty cool. I like the idea of being a liberator.
Well, I'm always a little shit disturber. I'm always the guy that incarnates and disrupts things. That's the whole point of being a starseed.
Yeah,
it's always against control.
Are there any other types of alien worlds that you have regulations of incarnating on, or
what do you mean regulations?
Or like other types of alien worlds that you remember some sort of existence on, like.
Lots. Very like incarnations on alien worlds. As I was a fish once, incarnation worlds where I was just a light body. Like there's different types of bodies out there too.
Well, all right. Well, let's start with the fish. Wait, was this like an intelligent fish, or were you like just like a river trout or something?
I don't even know. It was just I was swimming with fishes going down a waterfall, but I wasn't on Earth. Like the planet was so much more beautiful than Earth, and so that taught me that every bird, insect, anything has a soul within. So you can, like the Buddha teaches you can come back as anything. So that's why a lot of aliens are vegans.
So you remember any like feelings or anything? What it was like to be a fish?
Yeah. No, feelings is a human thing. That's not an alien thing. Humans would be shocked that feelings are actually a programmable thing in a human body for feel, because everything you feel in this body emits energies, and that's what the certain aliens will feed off of. So feelings don't exist in reptilian or alien bodies. That's a very human thing.
So we most likely genetically engineered to be that way?
Yeah. It's like the weirdest thing about being in alien bodies is having no feelings, like nothing. It's just pure existence. And then in this body, you have different types of emotions because you have 22 different alien genetics within you. Plus, you're engineered to have high range emotions, so you emit higher energies for being fed on.
So, and it's the Draco that did this, or is the Draco just took advantage of it?
Draco and other alien groups that help do it. Okay. There's not just the Dracos, so everyone pits everything on the Dracos. It's not just them. It's the 22 other different alien groups that do this.
Okay, so can you name some examples of these 22 other groups?
I don't know all their names. I just know it's just the basic couple that we already know. It's just Dracos, the insectoids, the Nordics that look exactly like us. Then there's the reptilians, the reptoids, and there's the dark archons, which are energy beings. Then there's the Anunnaki, and then there is
any grays.
The tall grays, the small grays, and just that's all the ones I'm aware of right now. Anyways, I don't know the extra ones.
So all of those have had their hand in our genetic code.
We are all part of each one of them. They all took out part of their genes to make us. That's why we have 23 different chromosomes.
Huh, okay.
It's far out.
Yeah.
That's why, say, on Earth, you'll see Asians, right? Asians look exactly like grays, like facial experiences, like expressions and facial, their faces. And then Browns and African Americans will look more like reptilians, like their skin colors. And Nordics look like Swedish white people.
So, what races do you know that are here on Earth right now, outside of the reptilian species?
I'm only present to the ones I'm in always contact with are reptilians, Dracos, dark archons. I fought for the Greys. I don't know if I was hanging out with them. Humans, different humanoids. There's also the hybrid class, which are they half human, half reptilian, or half human, half insectoids, or half human, half Greys type thing. And just super soldiers, that's it. And then all my other races that I exist with are they don't show themselves to me. They'll show themselves to me as people that I know in this experience. I'll call them out eventually. I'll be like, hey, stop showing me as my dad. How you know they're aliens is they don't know how to act human, so they act weird. And they're like, hey, you're just projecting someone that you're comfortable with, and then you say, hey, show me your real self, and they're like, okay, if you're ready, like, and they'll show you their real selves. And like one was a 4-foot tall human body with a fly looking face. The other one was they bursted out into these little energy beings with white heads and black eyes, and they're floating in the sky like kind of like ghosts do, and they're just like flying around me and stuff like that. No, that was the ones I can remember anyways.
Like in Contact, where the alien shows up as Homegirl's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question comes up is, what exactly would this adrenochrome do to these guys if, they don't have feelings?
There's a video on it. You can YouTube. I watched it. It's very accurate. It's like these rich people, they put a child in a state of fear, then they kill the kid while it's in a state of fear, and they directly stick a needle between the eyes to take the adrenochrome out of between the center of the brain, and then they inject it into their bodies, and it's just like it's really good high. Rich people love it.
Well, yeah, but what use is a drug to something that doesn't have feelings? Is what I'm wondering. Like, what does it do to them?
It's just like a I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know what the high is. It's just addictive for them. They're addicts. Just like
I'm interested. I'm just interested to find out. They'd have to. I mean, that. So you've had Draco incarnations. You didn't have feelings inside of a Draco.
Feelings and feelings and what I call just what you are two different things. Like, so in a Draco body, like I get excited if I cause fear in something else. Like, there'll be an excitement, but it's not like an intense
so it's not
feeling.
Like an emotionless. They're not like robots walking around.
It's like a predatory impulse.
Yeah, but that's who they are. Like, it's like they are genetically beings of dominance, state of fear, over dominating anything. That's just who they are. That they're born like that from the beginning. They have never evolved. They have never had to change. They are the perfect being. Like, they're just like almost like you watch the movie Predator. That's what they are.
Like sharks haven't had to evolve in 400 million years because they're the apex predator of the oceans. Nothing.
Yeah. So
that's as good as they're gonna get. Like.
Yeah, if you watch the movie Predator, like how the predator people act, like that's what a reptilian acts like. That's just who they are. There's pure dominance in a warrior class. It's all there.
Are there any trans-reptilian species out there, like, that have transferred their consciousness out of a reptilian-type body into a robot?
Oh, I'm sure there are. Most reptilians have nanites inside their bodies to help them with cell repair. That's why they don't age. And also, if they get injured, they get healed instantly.
So
weren't the Daleks from Doctor Who? Weren't they like a reptile type thing that basically like? What were they inside?
Talking about that trash can thing?
Yeah. What were the Daleks
inside? Who the hell even watches Doctor Who?
I don't know. I just always
I don't watch Doctor Who, but I just saw the movie Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is big full disclosure on the shape-shifting reptilians. Have you guys seen the movie yet?
Yeah, I
totally haven't.
I watched like half of it, I think.
But anyways, they talk about the shape-shifting reptilians in that movie. I was like, oh, wow, that's full disclosure right there. Yeah, it's always in the Marvel movies.
Yeah, it's just pretty interesting. So you mentioned that a lot of the Draco use nanites and stuff. So is this something that the same type of technology that you hear being used in the secret space programs?
Oh yeah, that's where they got it from. Like all the technology that the secret space program.
So they get the nanites from the Draco. Now, how is that linked to the black goo at all?
I'm not sure.
Do you have any experience with the black goo in your travels?
Not that I can remember.
And one question I have is what would set the gray goo apart from the black goo?
I'm not sure.
Food coloring?
Carbon content, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, what would give it its color? I mean, they're manufactured, right? So it would either have to be colored or it would be the components that would give it its color. So
yeah, there's no.
Yeah, we're getting a little too technical there, man.
I mean, as long as it's planet devouring goo, that's the important part.
Right. As long as
no, they only allow me to have 1% of my memories. There's so much more there that it will come up eventually. Mm-hmm. Like I remember myself being my super soldier body, where I just graduated the academy, and I was looking at they took a picture of our graduation class in all of our super soldier bodies, and it was in a picture frame on the hallway, and I was looking at myself and looking at everyone I graduated with, all the males and females, and then I was talking to this woman that I was with, and she was a good friend of mine, and then I woke up back in my body. It's just a memory, so.
So, do you have recollections of any timelines where just the general conditions here on Earth were drastically different from what they are now?
Oh yeah, lots. I'll look up in a different reality where like the entire world was destroyed, and it's literally like The Walking Dead, but without zombies, and you're just like going around trying to survive.
Have you ever seen a reality where Earth was farm free?
No, that hasn't exist at the moment.
So
no.
You haven't.
That's right up there with the timeline where Ron Paul won.
I mean, I guess it's relative because it does exist somewhere, right? If it all exists at the same time infinitely.
Humans want to be farm free, but they have to understand like your evolution in technology is like I don't see it happening. Like, how would you ever liberate yourself or be farm free from beings that are billions of years more advanced than you are? Unless
maybe we just
you'll never win a war ever.
Maybe we just like cover ourselves in shit. We just make ourselves taste bad, dude, man. You know, like we start eating like fucking, I don't know. What can we eat? It's like all king fruit, like all the time. King fruit all the time. King fruit and anise all the time. King fruit and anise soup. So this way it's tainted meat.
How would the cows ever liberate themselves from humans? Ever.
I think the way we would have to do it would be to starve them out, which would be to eliminate the fear. But we are definitely a long way out from that.
Or you eliminate the humans overall.
Yeah, well, we were trying to avoid that scenario, so...
Reincarnating here. If humans learn that death doesn't exist and you live forever as a conscious being, then why just do a massive suicide and then you're done. The war's over.
Yeah, I guess it would take a lot of coordination of thousands of farm planets.
Well, do you have any recollections of any realities where Earth had at least like advanced significantly technologically and culturally to the point where it was, rising above being a farm planet, like transitioning from a farm
like
planet?
A disclosure. You seen a disclosure timeline?
So, as being a reptilian, they'll never let you get that far. Like, so back in your past history, before the Great Flood, humans started developing space technology and weapons that could rival the gods. It's even in the Bible and in the Hindu culture, and then they just wipe you out and restart you. That's what the Great Flood happened. Because humans will evolve naturally. You're a simple being, right? So they just come back here every couple thousand years, see how advanced you got, and they just wipe you out. But there is a TV series called Stargate where, in the first movie, they found out about Ra being an alien, and then they slowly acquired technology over time, which is the secret space program with the Nazis, to help themselves eventually liberate themselves from the Goa'uld. And then they started traveling the universe in the Stargate, fighting other Goa'uld-controlled planets and freeing the humans. Like, that's literally full disclosure. That is happening right now. There are, in the secret space program, they are fighting, the bad reptilians, and there are good reptilians that do want to free these planets because we are becoming a nuisance. But, it's going to take a very long time. Like, if it could go either way, right? We could lose the rebellion, or we could win it. So.
I mean, personally, I subscribe to the die on your feet, live on your knees thing. Rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
Don't step on the snakes.
I'll punch a fucking reptilian right in his face. Come on, you ain't gonna eat my baby.
You ever saw Reptilian?
No, I haven't. I would probably run the fuck away really fast.
Apart from Glenn Beck.
What the funny thing is they have costumes too. It's like they will appear themselves. They like to dress in like 1930s fashion.
Really?
They're like top hat gangsters, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you're going to a steampunk thing, watch your back.
Oh shit. All right, so any more questions from the chat, you guys? I would open up the phone lines, but you know what? I'm just gonna cancel that goddamn phone because Every time we try to do it and we've got a guest on, Skype just disappears.
Yeah, it just crashes.
Like, what the hell?
Skype doesn't know what it's doing.
I mean, I guess it comes in handy sometimes, so maybe we'll keep it around for a little longer.
Maybe we should just learn how to properly employ Discord. That's always, a possibility.
Okay, enough tech talk. Back to the show. Sorry for that little break.
Hopefully there's a timeline where we actually have our telecommunication structure.
There's a timeline out there where there's like ABC at the super secret disclosed location. You know what I mean? We got like ABC cameras and...
Yeah.
Joel's sitting across from us.
Yeah, we actually have like, $60,000 red cameras filming this.
Oh, probably. There's everything has a possibility. So,
our motion graphics budget is unlimited.
I mean, speaking of the multiverse, I mean, it is possible to have farm-free planets. I mean, because the multiverse is all infinite possibilities all the time, at the same time, forever and ever.
Yeah.
So they're out there. I mean, maybe we could just need to make this one.
There was a timeline that was told to me that when the Nazis won World War II, they won like the actual big war and they took over Canada and the States, that they actually disclosed all the information on flying saucers and the aliens that rule this planet. And they actually, it's called Kruger, and Kruger helped start a liberation against the aliens. Like, they used the entire population of the Earth of knowledge and like knowing about this problem, and they started a really good rebellion. And that's why the United States have this device where they can travel to other multiverses with technology and take people from that multiverse and bring them to this multiverse. They brought Kruger to this planet in this timeline to help with the secret space program and stuff like that.
Well, that's interesting. I've never heard a backstory about Kruger like that before. It's pretty interesting. So what you're saying is that Kruger actually comes from another parallel timeline where the Germans won World War II.
You never heard that one before? Which one have you heard?
I just never heard a backstory for it. It was just like, all this mercenary companies broke off from somebody. That's really all I ever heard about it. I never heard that particular backstory.
I have no idea what Monarch's backstory is.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
They're like those things that are just kind of like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, well, that Philadelphia experiment that happened with that ship, and that was when Nicholas Tesla did that one. That was their first ever transporting into another dimension that they existed in. And when they got back, the bodies were morphed into the ship because like it was in a state of flux, and then they fell into the ship, right? So that was when they first figured out that there was multiverses out there.
We're about 5 miles from where that happened.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, right there in Norfolk Harbor.
Tesla was very advanced. He was very, He took the power of the pyramids and put it into his towers where they transfer energy. That's what the pyramids were. They were energy hubs that were powered by the sun and the obligus, or that would draw energy from the atmosphere that were transported from the pyramids, and that's where he got that technology from.
Yeah. Yeah, I always wondered why they call it I always wondered why they call it the Philadelphia experiment. This should happen in Norfolk.
Yeah, you know what?
Why is it called the Norfolk experiment?
Hampton Roads always gets gypped. If it weren't for that son of a bitch LBJ, it wouldn't have been Houston, we have a problem. It would have been Hampton, we have a problem. We always get the shame.
Yeah, we do. We're right next to a NASA complex, too.
There was a cool experience that I had where I traveled the multiverse and I ended up in Miami. And I was just walking down a street and I noticed I was in Miami, and I just walked into a house and I knocked on the door, and then they're like, oh, can we help you? And I was like, I don't know if I'm just going to say the truth. Like, I'm so-and-so from a parallel reality. I just came here. Like, can I come in and talk to you? And they're like, oh yeah, come inside. And a lot of parallel realities know about this ability, that human beings have the ability to transport themselves into multi-dimensions and travel the multiverse. And this is taught in like high schools and stuff there. And we're like, oh yeah, like, yeah, we know about this. We were taught about this in school. We can do it ourselves too. Like, nice to meet you. Or what dimension are you from? Blah, blah, blah. And we're talking about sports teams. Like, they wanted to know what sports teams were called in our dimension. And we're talking about, oh yeah, the Miami Dolphins are a football team. And he's like, oh, that's weird. We call it the Miami, I can't remember the word he said. It was a different animal, but he called it Miami something else. And he's like, why would we ever call it Miami Dolphins? That's such a weird name. And I was like laughing at him because they make jokes about our names for things and their names for things.
It's interesting that so many of these dimensions have knowledge of being able to do this, but yet they're still stuck on that farm. And, you know, I know I'm beating this farm shit to death, but it's just annoying. It annoys me, man.
That it's called a farm?
No, that we live on a goddamn farm.
Well, it's just like, so one of the freedoms of knowing about the multiverse is that this is an existence of experience. So if you are on another dimension where you are taught in school that, hey, with proper meditation, proper diet, you can travel the multiverse in any experience that you want to exist in. So then they do that, right? They travel because everything runs on the same timeline, right? Parallel, past, present, future. So they're only here for 8 hours in that timeline, but really it's just a second of existence because they open their eyes in a different timeline, right? So like, this is just an experience for them. They don't really care that's a farm planet.
Something matter with them.
Well, it's just like they're in a farm, like let us open their eyes in a different dimension, right? And this, if time doesn't exist, it just goes away.
I don't know. It just seems like a cop out to me, I guess, man. I don't know. I just no offense or nothing. I'm not trying to, you know, shit talk you or anything. It's nothing like that. I you know, lately here, since the beginning of the year, man, I've been on this kick, man. With I'm just getting pissed off with all these cults popping up, and these ET cults, UFO cults, different even secret space program cults now.
We've decided recently that if we ever do start a cult, or if I ever start a cult, it's going to be a resurrection of the Church of Bacchus. And it's just going to be lots of loud parties, music, booze, maybe the occasional orgy, lots of pizza probably. But, you know, no brainwashing, no Jim Jones Kool-Aid, you know, no doomsday shit, no brainwashing.
That stuff can never happen again. Like, that's why Starseeds and Indigos and Star or Diamond Children are here, is because when the revolution does happen, and which it will on any level, that it's our job being alien incarnations here to make sure that humans unlearn what they've learned and be there when they need a shoulder to cry on. Like, it's okay, you were lied to for the last 2,000 years, like, get over it. And now we're going to create a positive future where the truth is the truth, and we don't care if it's going to hurt your feelings. You need to learn the truth and grow up and evolve. There's no more religions. Religions are done. They're already starting to fade out. They're not going to be ever allowed back. It's going to be like a there'll be no more governments or anything. It'll just be like a human crime to have a Bible or to even start that shit again.
Well, what do you really need religion when you got magic?
Magic is just science or technology.
Yeah, that's one of my questions is that if, you know, the kid, like, for instance, like the Alpha Draconians, right? They've been around for billions of years, right? So at some point in their history, their magic and their technology fused into a single discipline. How did that happen?
Well, from my understanding, magic is just an old term for technology. Like, back in the day when humans thought magic existed, it was just technology.
Well, yeah, like at some point, chemistry, for instance, or medicine were all considered magic. And at some point, alchemy developed into actual science. And, you know, the flip is that, you know, I guess on one hand, just because you don't understand how it works, doesn't make it magic. But then on the flip, you know, just because you do understand how something works, doesn't make it any less wondrous.
So you're talking about understanding of magic to technology, or technology is magic?
Well, I mean, at some point, like, okay, if magic is the ability to change reality through means not currently understood by Western science, right? That was Crowley's definition. So, at some point, what we consider magic and what is actual technology would have to fuse into a single discipline, like a single school of thought. And how far do either of these fields have to advance for that to start to happen? And are we already seeing the beginning of it with, neurobiology and virtual reality and,
We're talking about learning then, right? So learning is like, how there's a school system on this planet where you go to kindergarten, high school, and college. That's a brainwashed way of learning. Right. Real learning is, so when you exist in your past incarnations, you've already learned. And when you incarnate on other planets, the difference between incarnating on other planets and this planet is designed for you not to remember your past lives. That's why your brain is so small and it doesn't absorb anything. On other planets, when you die in incarnation, you incarnate into your body, but you have full memory of all your other past lives and everything you ever learned. So you don't need to relearn. If that makes any sense.
So why the block?
Pardon?
Why the block?
Oh, it's a slave planet. They don't want you to remember your past lives. They want you to start.
All the other foreign planets would be like that too.
Well, every other foreign planet, yeah, but other real planets, there's what is the point of incarnating, living in that incarnation, learning, dying in that body, and then incarnating again and not remembering anything? There's no point.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist. That's just a slave planet. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, we got about 6 minutes left before we get to the end segment. So, for any more questions for Joel out there in the chat, let's see. Would you know anything about the nation of Taured?
No.
No, me neither. What?
That was the first I've ever heard.
Any other questions for Joel? Drop them in the chat. We got that. So, let's see, we got about 6. So, anything that you want to talk about specifically that we haven't talked about yet tonight in the last few minutes we have here?
No, that's pretty much it, man. That's all. It's just like I said, I've been scatterbrained lately, so I've just been.
Well,
I don't know where to start.
Well, I guess give us another example of either a reality or incarnation that is alien to what we know as human.
Everything is alien to this world when we talk about things that we're talking about. I don't know, like the only thing I can think of right now is when we had our last conversation and I was sidelined in a barracks by myself. I was off duty or sidelined, what they call it, as a punishment thing for a couple months. It's been since and I started doing meditation because I started getting bored here. I was like, I want throw me back in the game, like throw me back in my super soldier body. I want to kick some ass. Like, I'm bored going to work every day. Like, give me something, give me something, please. That night, into a normal looking airplane that had a door open, and there was these elite people in the chairs, and they were throwing other people that opened their mouth out the plane with no parachutes just to watch them die. Damn. As like a warning to me, like, shut your mouth. And but I was like, they took me out in an astral form, so I was just like a consciousness floating there, like I was above them, but they were making me watch these guys being thrown out the plane, and you could see like Earth, so it was over Earth, and they were just throwing people out of the plane.
Well, one can hope that they were at least communists.
Well, he said it was a plane, not a helicopter.
Good. I mean, use what you got.
Yeah, but then I was floating over. I was floating over the main guy. He had an iPad in his hand, and I was telepathically talking to him, like, "Hey, man, like, I'm sorry for opening my mouth. Like, please throw me into a body, like another body that has my favorite power of weapon is telekinesis powers, like destroying things with my mind, removing things with my mind."
I really would love that.
Oh, it's such a cool experience. Like, when you have telekinesis, Avatar Super Soldier body, you don't even give you weapons. They just you just walk in there. You start throwing things with your mind, and like making people explode and stuff is pretty cool. But the only reason why that's a harder body to use is you have to have really good mind control. You have to be able to control your mind, because if you can't control your telekinesis powers, you can easily kill a comrade or something like that, and or other alien species can take over your mind and use your telekinesis power to kill yourself. And
a trip to DMV will never be the same.
Yeah. So he was scrolling through bodies. He was like flicking left, like on a Tinder app, and he was looking at all the bodies. I'm like, I don't care what body it is, just tell me something with telekinesis powers. So they have lots of bodies. They're not just all human. Like some bodies are like this. It was a weird. I know you won't believe this, but the body looked like Treebeard off of Lord of the Rings.
Crazy.
Like exactly
type thing.
Yeah, plant being, yeah, and but it had telekinesis powers. So they threw me in that body. I woke up, opened my eyes. I was in this big tree or plant body experience, but I could move things with my mind. I could grow other trees instantly, or the plant, like I had control over plant life. And they sent me into this village, and they're just like, and I was big. I was probably like 25 feet tall, as big as, like, I was just a big tree with arms and legs, and I could walk around, and I was just decimating this village. Like I was just destroying it with my pure size. I wasn't even using my telekinesis powers. I was using pure, and the only feeling that I had was pure hatred, pure anger. I just wanted to kill these people. I had no remorse for anything. It's just like, yeah, I was just destroying buildings, doing this, doing that, and then I was standing there like exhausted because the body was so huge, and I wasn't used to such a body that big, and I was just laying there, and then I was just like waiting for them to like come pick me up, and then they just took me out of that body and threw me back in this body, and I woke up. I was just like, well, that was kind of boring. Like, I didn't want to be in a tree body.
Being a telekinetic ant sounds pretty badass, actually. Like, that sounds pretty metal.
It was like that planet had no way of defeating me at all. Yeah.
Well,
but that's the last experience I've had, so I've just been benched since.
Well, we're gonna have to get going here. And Joel, we just want to thank you again for coming on the show, man. And we'll book you again in a couple months, get an update.
Yeah, I hope you don't get further sidelined because of coming on the show this time.
Yeah, man, and I hope the the scatterbrainness and all the negative effects of jumping all around there improve for you.
That only happens to scatterbrainness because it's so intense lately. Every night I've been off planet doing like in different dimensions, so it's just like that. It slows down. It'll go down to like, it'll be like 2 weeks strong, then there'll be a week break where I'm just like not doing anything. I'm just being human, and then it'll go like really strong for like 6 days straight. Yeah.
I had one final question I wanted to ask you. Do you ever feel like you're not in the right timeline?
I feel like I should have been here 1,000 years ago or 1,000 years into the future.
I know that feel.
Yeah.
At least 1,000 years into the future part.
No, I enjoy going back in time. I like swords and horse type living. That's very basic and very enjoyable. I like it. It's very, anything that doesn't have the money system in it, I'm very enjoy it.
I would agree there. Well, Joel, thanks for coming on again, and we'll be in touch, man.
Yeah, man, sounds good. Thank you for having me on.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
So what'd you think, Dan?
Man, that was wow, I got a lot to think about, especially with as far as dimensional and temporal dynamics go, and possible ways to affect causality through means not currently understood.
Man, for me, man, like I was saying earlier, I'm just getting sick of living on a goddamn fucking farm. Man, this is my inner anarchist coming out. You know me, man. There is no authority but yourself. I'm not nobody's meat. I'm not a piece of meat.
Do it that will, it shall be the whole law and all.
So, before we go, though, we do have one, maybe two last articles for you guys out there.
Some important little tidbits that we wanted to run by it before we head out.
Yeah, I mean, this is more leaning towards disclosure of technology we suspect to already be in existence. So, this comes from thedailygalaxy.com. Warp bubbles NASA manipulating space-time to
actually
achieve...
talking about some warp bubbles.
NASA manipulating space-time to achieve faster than light travel. Weekend feature. Dan? You don't have it open. I got you.
No, because you Shanghaied my mouse. You
Space
mouse Shanghaiing kind of guy.
Space has been expanding since the Big Bang, 13.7 billion years ago. That was a long time ago. Said Harold Sonny White, head of NASA's Eagle Works Laboratories Advanced Propulsion. And we know that when you look at some of the cosmology models, there are early periods of the universe where the explosive inflation, where 2 points were receding away from each other at very rapid speeds. Nature can do it, so the question is, can we do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome question. It's true. There are points in the universe that are expanding away from each other at faster than the speed of light. Like, the observable universe, it's what, like 47 billion light years in either direction? So, stuff that you see on, looking, I guess, galactic east out across the edge of one edge of the observable universe, and what you see at the edge looking galactic west at the observable edge, the light from those 2 points is never going to interact.
So they said they found a way to configure the hypothetical negative energy matter so that warping could be accomplished with a mass equivalent to the Voyager spacecraft.
And they're not talking about the USS Voyager. They're talking about the actual Voyager probe.
Or Voyager.
Voyager.
What this does is it moves the idea from the category of completely impossible to maybe plausible?
Possibly, maybe.
My gut tells me maybe possible. Said White in a talk at NASA's Ames Research Center in 2014. Wow, it took him a while to get a report on this one, didn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about feasible, and so, unfortunately, that point usually gets missed a lot.
Yeah. So, according to recent reports, Never a Straight Answer scientists are currently researching the feasibility of warp drive, NDM, and a number of other modes of FTL. Most scientists think that these forms of space travel simply aren't viable, thanks to the fundamental physics of our universe. Routine travel amongst the stars is impossible without new discoveries regarding the fabric of space-time or the capability to manipulate it for our needs, said Neil deGrasse Tyson. By my read, the idea of a functioning warp drive remains far-fetched, but the real takeaway is that people are thinking about it, reminding us all that the urge to explore continues to run deep in our species. The catalyst for the warp drive excitement is the EM drive. It's a thruster that was engineered to steer rockets, which eliminates the use of a propellant originally intended for moon missions, Mars missions, low Earth orbit operations. The experiment that led to the possibility of FTL travel took place in the vacuum of space. And according to posts on NASA's spaceflight.com, a website devoted to the engineering side of space news, when lasers were fired through the EM drive's resonance chamber, some of the beams appeared to travel faster than the speed of light. If that's true, it would mean that the EM drive is producing a warp field or a bubble. So, the rest of this article, it continues on, and it's kind of lengthy. They go into Alcubierre drive, start talking about how, in general relativity, one often first specifies a plausible distribution of matter and energy and then finds geometry of space-time associated with it. But it looks like with this FTL, they're going to try and do something different. They're going to, the need for exotic matter leads to questions about whether it's actually possible to find a way to distribute this matter in an initial space-time that lacks a warp bubble in such a way that this bubble could be created at a later time.
Warp bubble.
Yep. It's just fun to say, warp bubble.
Warp bubble.
But, yeah, basically they're requiring the energy requirements for this alone would require, almost the energy of an entire star.
Red alert!
Right? And then on top of that, how do you produce this much energy and then control it without reducing yourself into a spray of quarks?
Antimatter containment field.
Yeah, well, there's always that.
Okay, so, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. As always, Don.
It's been fantastic, and,
nice guy.
Can't wait for next week.
What's this guy's name here?
Wishman?
Wishman.
That's the guy.
Next week, we got Ileana the Star Traveler joining us once again for a discussion. Exactly what we will be discussing, I'll tell you next week.
Yeah, you'll find out then. You're just going to have to tune in to find out.
We never said we were the most prepared show in the world. In fact, we told you we were.
Yeah, we barely know what we're doing.
You know what you're watching. See you next week, guys. Thanks for watching.
Until then, be safe and don't get on the ships.